Hey guys, it's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Today, finally, it's a beautiful day in Pennsylvania, and I'm happy to say I'm finally gonna start working on that beautiful blue WRX project that I have there. Now, in case you've missed it, I've had a ton of fun already in the WRX. I fixed a couple of things already, but since it's finally spring and I'm gonna have some time to work on it now, I have to go over every little thing that's wrong with it. So why not do it with you guys and show you guys exactly what's broken and wrong with my cheap Subaru WRX project. So let's get started. So in this video, I'm actually gonna go ahead and lift the WRX and go under it again and show you guys exactly what I have to work on immediately. But before we do that, let's go over the bodywork that I think needs to get done. I know it looks great from a distance, but up close, it's got a couple of issues. Starting out from the front, of course, we have a good looking headlight and not a good looking headlight right up front. This is very fogged up. I will be clearing this up and make it looking as good as the other one, so they will match, but for now it looks pretty terrible, so add that to the list. I do want to point out one thing before we continue to the problems. I love this shade of blue on the Subarus. There's a nice pearl to it. It shines really well. I really do like this color. It's my favorite Subaru color, and in fact, if I were to buy any Subaru ever, it would have to be in this color for sure. Moving on to the roof here, overall it's not bad except for this area right here. You can see some rust forming there, some rust bubbling up. I may have to sand that down and repaint it at some point. So add that to the list of things I have to do. Gladly, the window seals seem to be holding up pretty well. They seem to be in pretty good shape for their age, so I don't have to concentrate on that at all. Overall, the passenger side actually looks really good. The body's nice and straight, except for one little thing right here. You got a little bit of rust coming up right there, a little bit of rust bubbling up. Again, I'm not sure what to do about it. If I turn this into a track day car, that's not that important, but if I have to restore this car all the way back to its original glory, that would have to be taken care of at probably great expense. Luckily, it's only that little bit right here on the passenger side. Everywhere else is actually really good. Take a look right there. Let's move over to the driver's side. Now the driver's side, again, towards the front is actually really good as well. There's some more scratches on the paint, but they're not too deep. Might be able to buff that out, possibly. The only problems exist when you get back here to the rear wheel well. So unfortunately, it looks like while it was parked, someone went ahead and ran into the car. First, yes, there's some rust bubbling up right here. Not sure again what to do with that. You guys let me know in the comments what you want me to do with that. But if we go back to the scratches, it leads all the way back here. And then we have a nice little impact right here. Ouch. So you got some rust already forming right there. I do have to take care of that. So I have to sand this down here and take care of that. That's going to be very annoying to deal with. And I'm going to have to pop this out so that it doesn't look bad. But honestly, overall, it doesn't look too bad when you look at it in person. But that is a problem area I am going to have to deal with. Now, if you've seen the previous videos, you'll know that this car has a very well maintained interior, and it shows right here. There's almost no wear and tear on the driver's seat, and for 273,000 miles, that's pretty damn good if you ask me. The steering wheel has a little bit of wear right there, but that's not a big deal. I'm not gonna worry about that. And everything looks really good, front and back. So let's take a look at the engine bay and see what we have to work on there. First and foremost, the latch itself, there's something funky going on with it, so I think I have to readjust that and see what I can do about that. We know that we need a new battery. That'll be coming up very soon. And I mean, overall this engine's been kept in very good shape. It's got the original clutch and the original turbo. So considering that it has had the original clutch and the original turbo, you know it's pretty much been babied. Been well maintained. Nothing's really wrong with it. It runs really well. If you guys have missed it, I took this out for a winter drive and it drove really well. Go and check that out. I'll put a link up there on the top right of this video. So other than a battery immediately, an oil change is also necessary, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so we've seen as much as we could without lifting the car. Now it's time for me to go ahead and lift the car, put it on jack stands, take the wheels off, and really inspect what's going on under it. Well, the car's up in the air, and one thing I gotta say is I wish I had a lift. Hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later. I'll be able to build a garage with a lift. But for now, old school, I use my beautiful little jack. It's right over here, very nice, and it's on jack stand. So let's get under there, explore, get the wheels off, see what's up. Alrighty, I took all the wheels off because I wanted to check on the brakes and everything else. And I don't know if you guys remember, if you go back and watch the other Subaru videos I had out there, you'll remember that all the wheel nuts on the WRX were way over tightened. And that was certainly true for the other three. So I did change that one axle, and I did take that driver's side front wheel off. But every other wheel was pretty much stuck on. Let's take a closer look here. Luckily, all of the studs are actually okay. I was worried that they weren't. There's a little bit of damage on the back one, but with the help of my trusty hammer drill, this thing is amazing, by the way. Love this thing. I was able to take them all off, and really had no issues. So let's get closer and see the brakes and everything else. So taking a close look here, you know, I knew I needed brake pads. So if you take a look at the brake pads, they're pretty much done. I would not drive around with these brake pads anymore. They need to be replaced, and that's fine. But I didn't want to replace the rotors. But after taking a look at them, I mean, they're in pretty rough shape. I might have to go ahead and take the plunge and change these rotors up. The rear ones are just as bad. Taking a look at the rear ones here, and this is the one stud where it was kind of stuck there, so you see some metal filings there. That's okay. That's the only one that might be a little bit damaged, but we should be all right with that one. And taking a look here at the brakes and brake pads, yeah, I'm gonna have to replace all the rotors and all the brake pads all around, so add that to the list. Now taking a look at the tires here, luckily they're in very, very good shape. They're basically brand new. And unfortunately the wheels have a lot of curbing on them, but they are Rada Slipstreams, I believe that's what their model is. And they're really good looking. So I'm gonna keep these wheels and tires. Like I said, these tires are looking very, very meaty, very good. So now that we're under the car, the first thing you guys are gonna mention and probably talk about is the amount of rust that's on this car. And while it looks horrible, it's actually not as bad as you think. So yeah, this looks rusty, but all of this is some heat shielding for the headers that lead to the turbo. And I'm gonna see if I'll source some new shielding, or maybe I'll go ahead and upgrade the actual headers on this car for something a little bit better. Looking back here, I thought I had a problem with an oil spill or an oil leakage somewhere, and it turns out, yep, there it is. There's a little pinch of oil, and I was like, where is this coming from? Well, I haven't moved the car in a very long time, and all the oil has accumulated down here, putting a lot of pressure on this right here. Now, what's the problem here? I'm guessing it's the crush washer was probably never ever changed on this, and after so many different oil changes, it needs a new crush washer so it stops spilling oil. as it is. There's a drop of oil coming every couple of minutes, and it's spilling right onto the floor. Now taking a look over there, there's that bar that goes right through there, and actually I did some research and I looked at the car itself, and this is a US specific or North America specific only bar, and that's to help with frontal crash mitigation. And as you can see, it is basically rusted out. What a lot of people do is they actually remove this whole thing and do without it, because the JDM spec WRX does not have that bar at all. So as you can imagine, the car is fine without it. There's nothing really holding it, it's not holding anything up. It's actually being held up by the subframe. So I think we're just gonna take that off. I may source a different one, but I don't need to. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of people saying that I really should change that out. And let me know in the comments what you guys think, but I really think I'm gonna remove that and we'll be a-okay. A lot of people in the forums have said it's okay, and I've seen videos of people removing it and it's okay. So I'm gonna do that myself. Now we're looking at the front strut and spring assembly for the WRX, and while it looks a little bit rusty, they actually are doing okay. There's no leaking right here. It looks like it's been replaced at least somewhat recently. It rides perfectly beautifully. I will be shaking it down as soon as I change all the fluids. I'll be shaking it down, I'll be driving it around more spiritedly, and I'll be testing it out myself. But it looks okay. Thank goodness I don't have to change that up at all, and so we're good on that. And now we find ourselves under the back of the car. So this is the rear limited slip differential, which I love very much. And while it looks rusty, everything looks okay back here. No rips on the drive shafts, so that's good. The exhaust looks a little rusty on the surface, but it's all good to go. No rips on that. Again, there's some surface rust everywhere, but it's no big deal. Suspension looks pretty decent, and this looks like an upgraded part. I don't know what it is. If you guys know what this is, let me see if I can illuminate it here. Let me know in the comments. I don't know what that is, but it looks like an upgrade, and I won't be messing with it. Looking elsewhere, looking down here at the drive shafts, again a little bit rusty, but everything works beautifully. Nothing's wrong with that. So what we're going to be doing in our next WRX video is I'm going to be replacing the fluid from the rear differential. I got to figure out exactly how to do that. I think there's this is the drain plug and this is the fill plug, and I have the fluid ready for it, so we'll be doing that next. I'll also be replacing the fluid in the transmission, which will replace the fluid in the transmission and in the open differential up front, and that's in dire need of changing. And I'll change the motor oil as well. We'll get some brakes, so brake pads and discs, and then we'll get this car back on the road. So there we have it, guys. There's our game plan. I have ordered some parts, and I'll share with you guys what those parts are. They're brake pads and rotors. You're gonna love what I got for it, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be changing the fluids on the car as well, so that means fresh engine oil, new crush washer, because we did see that there's a little bit of oil spilling, and I was very worried about that. I was like, is it a rear main seal? Is it something else? No, it's just a drain plug. So I'm gonna clean all that mess up. I'm gonna get it beautiful, nice and shiny. I'm gonna, not steam clean it, but pressure wash it on the bottom very gently. So I'll make a video on that as well, and I'll show you guys how to properly do that. And then I'm gonna change the fluids. I'm gonna go ahead and put the new brakes on, and then we'll put the wheels back on, and then we'll get it driving, and then we'll do a real review / shakedown of WRX. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. What do you guys want to see more of WRX? I know a lot of you guys have joined up recently to the channel, so welcome to the FlyinGato channel. You guys are all part of the Gato squad, and I welcome your comments and your opinions, and I'm happy to answer questions if you guys have them. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.